Hey, welcome back to Fresh Gaming News. So today, as I was about to go to bed, they announced that the Last of Us multiplayer mode that has been rumored or announced and in development since The Last of Us 2 came out, and we're now getting Last of Us 2 Remake, which pretty much shows how long it's taken. But they announced that they cancelled it. They cancelled it. It's not happening anymore. Even though they're able to remake The Last of Us 1 and 2, they can't do a remake of The Last of Us 1 multiplayer for some reason. They're talking about how they changed and evolved the concept, which they didn't really need to do. It would have been fine if they just had the normal Last of Us multiplayer, but in Last of Us 2 with some extra cool abilities and stuff, maybe some new maps, but they decided to go way overboard on it, but then not release anything whatsoever, so that was great. Yeah, great idea there. So instead of going back to an earlier point and just making a simpler game, they've decided to scrap the entire thing, which kind of makes no sense to me. But I guess they want to focus on other things. They obviously don't think this is necessary of a mode. They obviously don't really care about doing multiplayer, which, yeah, no shit, because they aren't even working on this much. They haven't really worked on it at all, have they? They've mostly been focusing on other things, like The Last of Us remake. Yeah. But yeah, they're not really. They didn't really focus on this, so that's why it took so long to be developed, and now they're not doing anything on it. So my thoughts on this is it's kind of sad, but at the same time, we have The Last of Us 1 remastered multiplayer, which is fun. But it would have been cool if we got a multiplayer version for part 2, but I guess we're not getting that. Let's see what the next game they have is, the next single player game is, but it just doesn't look good for Naughty Dog right now because all they've done this gen is just all they've done this gen is just remasters and remakes, and it's just kind of pathetic that they're just not doing anything out scope of what they've been doing before. Like, they did 2 games on the PS4 that were pretty good. I mean, Last of Us 2 was not the best, but it was fine enough. But then this gen, they haven't done anything. All they've been doing is screwing around with pointless remakes and remasters. Yeah, I know Last of Us 2 is not technically a remake, but it probably took a bit of time to develop and it wasn't needed whatsoever, so. And let's not even talk about The Last of Us Part 1 remake, which was the biggest waste of time ever. But yeah, it's kind of shit, isn't it? But it is what it is. They obviously didn't want to make a multiplayer mode. If they did, they probably would have released it a long time ago. Maybe even when the game originally came out, 4 years ago. But anyway, that's going to do it for Fresh Gaming News. I'll see you guys next time. Make sure to like and comment and tell me what you thought on The Last of Us remake. Yeah, nobody really played that game, did they? Anyway, bye-bye.